I have a very special treat for you right now. A while back, I was able to interview a very talented and beautiful musician. The New York Times, Kanye West, and Vanity Fair all say she's brilliant, and I agree. So I hope you enjoy Holly Miranda.
Love you go down smooth. I am crushing you. I can barely move with no feet on the ground, a handful of clouds. I don't care. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There's no place I want to wake up beside you. And all your billion tiny little kisses all fill me up, make me shiny and sleep like your bed's on fire. Yeah, sleep like your bed's on fire, 'cause it just might be. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Do you need a beer?
Yeah,
Cool.
sure. Oh, wow, thank you.
I just can anticipate the needs of a woman. Wanted to show you that. It's good. Do you like Hefeweizen?
Delicious, yes, thank you.
Is that your favorite kind of beer? Or? Cool. Thank you, Rainey. So you have a beautiful voice, and you sing good.
Thank you, Liz.
Yeah, I mean, my lord, that's. I mean, I've heard some of your recordings because you come to us by Raimi. This is, of course, Raimi's best friend, and I want to put just a caveat on that. It's her best friend from New York. It's her New York bestie, because obviously I'm her LA bestie. We've covered that. We've covered that, so that's fine. You have Kansas and East, and I've got whatever is next to Kansas and West.
Okay.
You're incredibly talented, and I'm sitting very close to her right now. I can tell you that she's as pretty up close as she is on camera. What would make my entire life is if you were gay.
Would it?
Yeah. It would, because you're beautiful and you're talented, and that's like dream girl material. But I don't like straight girls, because they don't well. So
They don't kiss well either.
they don't. So are you gay?
I think I just answered your question, right?
I think
Yes.
you did. You are.
Yes, I am. I'm
This
pretty
is-
gay.
Yes, this is so exciting. I mean, we should give that a round of applause. We got another one. This is so exciting. I mean, I ask you that because, there's a lot of young people who watch the show who don't get to hear a lot of really talented, beautiful people say, yes, I'm gay, and it really means a lot to them when you do. And it means a lot. No, it means a lot to me. It really does. I'm kidding, but I'm not at the same time. And I think it's really cool because you are at the beginning of your career, which I can tell you is going to be phenomenal. Not just because I think so, but let me just read some things that other people have said about Holly Miranda. Let's see. First of all, Kanye West blogged about her, and that man really only blogs about himself. Let's be honest. So if he's not talking about himself, and he actually takes a moment to say, check out this woman and her music, she obviously must be very talented. He said on his blog that he was listening to you in his apartment.
What was
Which
he
is
doing?
like, exactly, what was he doing? And why doesn't he live in a house? Somebody is not managing his money well. That's another story. Then Vanity Fair wrote, to believe Kanye's hype. They said you should believe Kanye's hype and that Holly Miranda's falsetto makes the walls collapse, which we basically just heard. The New York Times wrote that Holly Miranda is a less fearful cat power, a more substantive feist, a Nora Jones with actual feeling. You, Nora Jones. Evidently you're like a folk robot. You're a folk bot. And I mean, feist is about, to me, as talented as it gets.
I love fights.
And substantive, which if I had a big vocabulary, I would know what that means. But I mean, that's amazing. I mean, the New York Times, I've heard of them. And they're saying these things about you. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And you're not even on a label at this point. I mean, that is huge. That's big deal stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what the New York Times said about me?
What?
Nothing. So the cool thing about your record, can we talk about that? That's what's coming out. Is that Dave Sitek from TV on the Radio? He produced it, and he produced lots of other cool people as well.
Yeah, he's great.
Like who else did he? Who else has he worked with? In
He
terms
did.
of
He did the
producing?
first Yaya's record, Fever to Tell. He just did the newest Yaya's, It's Blitz. He's done all the TV on the Radio records. He's done some Massive Attack, The Foals, Celebration.
I've heard of all
Scarlett
those
Johansson. He's done some stuff.
people. Have you
with
met
them.
Scarlett Johansson or? Yeah.
Yeah.
She a good kisser?
I don't know. I haven't kissed Scarlett.
You think that if we ever met, she would just let me go to second base immediately, or would I have to work for it?
Maybe if it was like for a role, maybe.
For a role.
Yeah.
The role is you're playing Scarlett Johansson and I'm playing me. And these are my hands and they're playing your boobs. I mean, like, we've been talking about you on the show since the very beginning.
I know, it's really
we
sweet.
talked about the Jealous Girlfriends, which is your band,
Another band.
another band. But that was our very first band that we ever plugged on the show. That was you.
That's awesome.
And then we plugged you, Holly Miranda, as a solo artist. And now here you are. It's sort of like full circle.
Cyclical.
And you're welcome.
Thank you.
Because I just want to say we plugged you before, Kanye found you, and the New York Times was raving about you, and Vanity Fair was like, I want to put my finger in her butt, We said that
And
about
they tried,
you first.
and that was weird.
That's awesome. Not many people can say that. Well, I'm so happy that you were here, and thank you so much for playing. I mean, you're just incredibly talented, and I'm so excited to see what happens with your whole life.
Aww.
Come on.
Thank you.
That was good. I see that was good. You guys, let's hear it for Holly Miranda.